Happy Tuesday, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Shelby, and I'm the owner of the Gift Gala shop. I try to sprinkle as much happiness into the world as I can with my non-toxic soy candles and custom labeling and now stationery items. And as always, I'm just so glad you guys are here. So it's been literally only 4 days since I posted a video, but I feel like that I've been around the world and back. Unbeknownst to most of you guys, my mom and Denim and I took a trip to Utah last week, and we actually just got back yesterday morning at 5:30 in the morning. My mom was entered in a barrel race, so we had one of our fur babies. Actually, we had 3 of our fur babies along for the ride. We had her horse, and then we had my dog, Willow the Whippet, and her mini Aussie, Walter, with us. So it was a full house in the truck and trailer. We left last Wednesday at 3:30 in the morning. We broke the trip up into 2 days, so that way we could lay over and do some sightseeing and that sort of thing. So we ended up going about halfway Wednesday and then finished the rest of the trip Thursday. And we got into Salt Lake City around 1 or 2 o'clock and were able to just relax, let mom's horse Ellie relax, and just hang out until she had to compete on Friday and Saturday. Then we began our trek back on Saturday after she ran, and then we just ended up powering through and driving all night to get back yesterday morning because I had so much stuff that I needed to do, ready for the new stationery launch and continuing to process orders. I do have a 3 to 5 day processing time, so I had every single open order completed and shipped before I left. So that gave me a 5 business day window to take this little trip, and it was a blast, you guys. That is my first time to Utah. I've been to a lot of states. Having horses and competing on them has taken me all across the United States, but I cannot say that I have ever been to Utah. So we left Texas, drove all the way through New Mexico, through the corner of Colorado, and nearly almost all the way through Utah, going from south to north. And so that was just super, super cool. The scenery was beautiful. I can't say that I maybe want to live in the desert, but there was so many cool stopover places, and I would love to go back to Moab and like vacation there. It was just so cool to see some different scenery, and I absolutely love the people in Utah. They are so nice and so hospitable and just so down to earth, and so that was just really, really fun. And my boy Denim, he was down. I was thinking before we went on this trip, whoa, a 2.5-year-old in a car seat for that long a time. Of course, we were planning on, breaking the trip up, stopping over for the night, and doing some sightseeing and stuff, but I was just thinking, man, that is a long time to be in the car seat. And after we arrived and had hung out for a day or two, he asked me, he said, "Mama, are we gonna go on another road trip?" And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe you want to get back in the vehicle. And he was good to go all the way home. We stopped at the Four Corners Monument on the way back and did some shopping with the local Native Americans, and that was a super cool experience. I am obsessed with turquoise jewelry. I don't normally have very much on. As you can see, I have Navajo pearls and I've got a turquoise necklace on. But your girl is obsessed with turquoise jewelry. So anytime that I can stop and look, you can guarantee that I'm going to be there for a while. And I just love being able to do business directly with the Native Americans that are actually hand making this jewelry. They are so incredibly talented. Like, it is beyond amazing, and it's a trade that they've passed down for years and years and years and years, and it's just like you get to wear around a little bit of history. So that was a really cool treat that we got when we got to the Four Corners, because I thought it was just going to be a monument. I had no idea that they were going to have some booths set up and be trading and selling goods. So that was super duper fun. Lots of awesome pictures, but I just feel like the pictures do not do the terrain justice. Like, the bluffs and the valleys and the mountains are so beautiful, and the colors are so vibrant. Even now when I go back and look at the pictures, I'm like, that mountain or that bluff was huge, and in my picture it just doesn't show the depth and the sheer size of how big all of the mountains and bluffs and stuff were. But super cool experience, and my mom and her horse did really, really well. They got to add a big chunk of change to their lifetime earnings, so it was just a great trip all the way around. While I was gone, even though I was not physically making orders, I was on the computer a big majority of the time when I wasn't driving, and I was working on all kinds of things. I was designing some new stationery items. I was designing some new candles. Ready for the Berry Happy Summer collection launch this week. Was a little stressful, I guess, to be gone that long prior to this launch, especially this being my very first stationery launch. So I was sweating it out a little bit, but I was able to work on some of the listing and work on the launch email that's going to go out, as well as doing some social media posts. I'm super excited because while I was gone, a lot of the stationery items were delivered. The notepads, the sticky notes, the stickers, and the suspense has been killing me. I'm pretty sure they arrived the Wednesday that we left, so I literally have had to wait 6 days to open these, and it has been killing me. Because 1, I just want to see how awesome they turned out, and 2, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking if something is wrong or there's a mistake or an error or the colors are wrong, I don't have time to reorder and get it here by this Thursday. So Fingers crossed that the notepads and sticky notes and stickers are everything that we wanted them to be and more. We unboxed the bookmarks last video and they turned out super, super cute. I'm hoping I have time in this video to take you guys with me on the lamination journey. I have a laminator. I've never used this particular laminator and I have never laminated a bookmark. I have the sleeves and the bookmarks, so I'm gonna take you guys along with me on that, or hopefully if I get time, we'll do that. On top of the new collection launch, I have literally 400 candles to pour, okay? Appreciate you guys so much supporting my small business, and when I'm gone for little treks like this, it is a little bit overwhelming when I get back to see how many open orders and how many candles I have to pour, but I'm always up for the challenge and we're gonna knock those out today. My mother-in-law and father-in-law actually came to spend the whole week for 4th of July because we always like to have a big gathering. We cook out and stuff for the 4th. So because they're here for the week, Denim is actually spending the afternoon with them. So I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to knock out a ton of work and get to talk to you guys a little bit more through this video, being that we don't have Miss Rachel going on or a disaster taking place in the office right now. As you can see over my shoulder over here, see these fragrance jugs? That would be courtesy of Denim. That's like his little fort area. He likes to like make this little fort and then sit on the shelf. So maybe I won't have to pick up as many messes in between videos today. I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of the rundown of what's going on this week. This is gonna be a very productive studio vlog. And along with pouring candles and doing the normal studio stuff, I'm super excited to take you guys along with me on this new journey of new products and creating those as well. So I guess it's time to pour some candles. This is what we have to pour today. This is the list, which really isn't too bad. There's multiple orders that are favorite orders. They're like 10s and 20s, but I think we can get this knocked out pretty quick. So what I like to do when I'm pouring my candles, because I pour everything to order, I still like to group scents together. So like if I get, 60 orders within a span of 3 days, I try to minimize my waste in terms of material waste and then waste on my time as well by pouring a certain scent all at one time. That way I'm basically bulk pouring. This week it's easy because I've been gone for 5 or 6 days, so I'm bulk pouring every single order that has come through to date. But if it were a normal work week, I might pour every other day or every third day instead of pouring every single day, because let's say I pour 1 4-ounce candle every single day. There's gonna be just a very little bit of material waste in that pour. I'll have a little bit left over just to make sure that I fill the candle to the correct weight. And if you multiply that little bit of waste times 3 or 4 pours, then you could have poured a whole nother candle and you actually just threw that material away. Instead of pouring 1 4-ounce candle every day for 4 days in the same scent, I will just wait till the 3rd or 4th day and then pour all of the candles, so I have a smaller amount of material waste as well as my time, because I can pour 4 candles as quickly as I can pour 1 candle because of how big my pouring pitchers are. What I like to do when I begin pouring is to lay out all of my jars and vessels that I'm planning on pouring at that moment. Like right now I have probably 100 jars out. I don't want to get all 300 jars out because I don't know if I have enough time to pour those, and I'm trying to avoid clutter right now. Now in the busy season, all of these tables will be loaded with jars. So I've got all of my vessels laid out to make sure I have the inventory in stock and ready to pour into and then go ahead and ship. Once I get all of them laid out, then I go into the warning label process, where I print off all the warning labels with the correlating scent that's going to go on each jar. So that's what we're going to do now. If there's only 1 or 2 of each scent, I still handwrite the label. I think that's such a personalized touch. But like for favors or wholesale orders, I do print those off because I think they look a little more professional, especially when they're going to be in a store, which is a lot easier and a lot faster to print multiple scents off at one time. Stop and have a little chat about what everybody ordered this last week while I was gone, because I gotta say, you are my people. We have cinnamon apple, pumpkin caramel dreams, Christmas tree, apple cider, gingerbread house, cozy cottage, buttercream cake, bookstore, cozy reads. Okay, look at all of these fall scents. I am dying, you guys. I love fall, and you guys know that. And apparently you guys are ready for fall too, even though this is June. Well, I guess it's the 1st of July. As of today, it's 1st of July. But what's so crazy to me that I wanted to honestly talk about is normally August 1st, that is like the starting gates open. Everybody's into fall, like spring and summer is gone. We're running headfirst into candle season. And last year, it was a little bit different. I especially wanted to focus on Halloween candles because I had never done that, and so I developed a huge line of like chic, girly Halloween candles, and I really pushed those, and they did super well. I don't know if it was just because I was in that headspace, but it really seemed like on Instagram and TikTok that nobody was really feeling the autumn, like hello fall vibes that they had in the past, and I thought that was really weird, and I didn't know if that was a trend or if it was just like a yearly thing and people just weren't into it. So what's crazy to me is this is June And I mentioned it a couple weeks ago that I was already selling a ton of fall candles. So what's crazy now is we're in the 1st of July, which is a month ahead of time. I'm not saying at all that candle season starting gates have opened by any means, but I am loving that you guys are buying all of these fall scents so early, because that is telling me that fall is going to be a thing this year, which I am so glad about, because I am developing a ton of different fall collections to launch this year. Scent blends, stationery that's going to match the candles, just all of these really cute fall, first and foremost, fall and autumn vibes, and then some cute little ghosty things too. I just had to stop and give all of these fall orders a shout out. Thank you guys so much for ordering these. They're my favorite scents to pour. You guys know this, and I am just so excited. In the first week of July, fall candles are going to be making it to homes all around the United States. Okay, so I lied. I said we were gonna pour some candles, but before I get my hands all waxy and fragrance all over them, unbox the brand new stickers and notepads and sticky notes that just arrived with you guys, because I have been waiting a week. I've been waiting 1 whole week to open these, and I want you guys to be here along for the ride while we do this. I'm kind of nervous because all I got was digital proofs, and you just never know. When you go to print, you don't know if the colors are going to come out the way you envision in your mind. You just don't have any idea. And where I'm not printing these in the shop myself, that just makes me that much more nervous. I guess that's because I'm a control freak or something. I don't know. But okay, are you guys ready? These are the stickers, I believe. Okay, we've got a little storm rolling in, so I'm going to unbox them right here by the window so we can see what they look like. Okay, are you guys ready? Set. Oh, that's not the right side. They are perfect. Okay, I had to get rid of the FedEx bag because it just was not vibing. OMG, you guys, look at these. Tell me these are not perfect. This is my very first vinyl sticker, and they're matte. They are so, so perfect. You can see every line from the pages that I drew, every seed in the strawberries. Oh my gosh, you guys just have no idea. Oh my goodness, they are perfect. Are you guys ready? Look at these sticky notes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, they are so stinking perfect. What do you guys think? Be honest. Does this not just give you all of the summer vibes to jot your notes down on? I am in love. We have this guy. All right, now notepads. These are the things that I was worried about the most because I couldn't visually see if there was enough lines or not. Eek! They are so good. Oh my goodness. Very important stuff. Ah. Okay. What do you guys think? Do you love or do you love? Be totally honest. I can't wait for these to be in every single desk that I can possibly get them to. Oh, they're so, so perfect. Okay, I really don't know how I'm going to be able to focus after that unboxing. That was more than I could have hoped for. The printing was perfect. The colors are perfect. I'm just over the moon with how good a quality. The paper is thick. Somehow I need to get back in the candle pouring headspace. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I guess we're just going to rock and roll with it because that was beyond amazing. So now I can get those photographed and the listings completed so they are ready to launch Thursday. We are so close to this launch and I for once feel somewhat prepared for it. So we are doing all of good this week. So many of you have asked me particularly about the candle pouring process, the types of wax that I use, the temperature that I pour at. I use a pure soy wax. I heat it up to 185 degrees and then I pour my fragrance in, mix it all up. I stir for 90 seconds at least minimum. I try to do the majority of my stirring prior to letting them sit in the cooling bath to make sure the fragrance has binded with the wax and also to give any kind of air bubbles the time to release out of the wax into the air before you pour. That is a cause for indentions in the tops of your candles, not so much frosting, but if you see the tops of your candles are sinking towards the middle, a lot of times there's too much air in the wax, most of the time from mixing your fragrance and your wax together. And then what it does is it just settles, just like a cake when you bake it. If it's not completely done in the middle and you let it set, it caves down in the middle. And in terms of wicks, I used the Eco brand wicks for years and years and years. And they got to the point they just weren't performing the way that I needed them to. A lot of times they were struggling to stay lit or they were getting a really wild flame. So a couple 3 years ago, I transitioned to using the CD series of wicks, and I have really loved them for my pure soy wax. I need to preface and say, if you are new to candle making, just because I'm using a pure soy wax and the CD series of wicks, that does not necessarily mean that's going to work for you. I recommend experimenting with several different kinds of waxes, wicks, and fragrance, because all three of those elements plus your climate will affect candle making. So what's working for me in Texas may not work for you in California. And you have to also consider shipping in the summertime. Pure soy wax has a low melting point. It can melt in the mail. If you're shipping in the south where it's hot, you have to consider maybe doing a soy. You have to entertain the idea of maybe doing a soy wax blend that has some kind of additive into it that will have a little higher melting point so it'll stay solid in transit. And then of course, depending on the different fragrances that you use, that's going to change the type of wick that you use, the size of wick that you use, and possibly even the wax. So I am loving the CD series. They have performed so well for me. What I really love about this series is they have so many different sizes. I have tons and tons of jars and vessels, and it's really nice to be able to have an exact wick that fits the exact jar and vessel. So that way my customers are getting a very efficient and well-performing candle, regardless of what size or jar they get. Good morning, you guys, and happy Tuesday, a whole week later. In the middle of my video last week, things got crazy. I was playing catch up on candles and ordered the Very Happy Summer collection launched, and then we had festivities for the 4th of July on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and we had friends coming in and stayed the weekend with us, and I just did not have time to finish editing the video for last week, so I've rolled some footage in from this week. I am probably going to do another video, maybe the end of this week or the first of next week, that kind of like sums up everything that's gone on this week, because There is so many things happening in the studio, and the video would be like 3 hours long if I put it all into one video. So I'm not gonna do that to you guys. I didn't want to just leave the video off because since the first part of this video was filmed, the Berry Happy Summer collection did launch, and you guys, I am blown away with the love and support that you guys showed to it. Like, I am a candle company and just said, here, let's start creating stationery, and I am just amazed with how many orders I got, and all of those orders were boxed up and shipped out yesterday, and I'm just so excited for you guys to receive that happy mail. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for shopping these brand new products, and I can't wait to show you guys more, because guess what, this week the small business collection is starting to be delivered and are so cute. There's sticky notes, notepads, bookmarks, and a daily planner, and not like a huge daily planner like a journal. I am working on that. That's going to be released probably in August. It's like a full-blown planner, but what I created was a 50-page daily planner notepad. So it's probably this big. It's pretty big. I have lists literally everywhere, and it'd just be nice to have everything consolidated on one page. Like things I need to do in my small business today, plus my grocery list and my daily social media marketing plan. So all of that is going to be on this notepad, and I'm so excited to share that with you. It's going to be launching next week. It's going to be this Sunday, but the following Sunday. And you guys, it is after the 4th of July, so you know what that means. Autumn is upon us, which means autumn collections are in full swing. And my brand new core autumn collection is launching this Sunday. I know that's really fast. I wasn't planning on launching it till sometime in August, but there has been so much love towards fall on Instagram, and that's just the feeling that people are going for. It seems to be that people are already trying to make that transition, which is telling me that fall might be coming early this year. I'd already had this collection in mind of how I wanted to look and the scents that I wanted and all of that. I just needed to create the labels and photograph the products. I did make time late Sunday evening to go ahead and get those labels created, and they are gorgeous. They are minimalist and boho and earthy, and the colors are so beautiful. They're like rusts and oranges and dark greens. Oh my gosh, they're just so beautiful. What I need to do today is get all of those photographed so that way I can get the listings ready and get this launch ready for Sunday. All the footage of how I kind of photograph my items when I have photo shoot day is going to be in the next video. I'm really excited to share this with you. You know, whenever you see these beautiful product photographs, just think that there's like this beautiful lit up room and that everything's clean and perfect, and that's how you snap these beautiful photos, but that's really not how it goes. Like, I have a table specifically set up just for photography. It's by a window, and I never put anything else on the table. I just leave my photo set up right there. Whenever I want to snap a picture, I can just run and put my product on there and take the picture right then. So it's nice to just have this little nook in my studio that's just for photography. So I'm gonna be doing that, and along with the fall collection launching this Sunday, new small business stationery collection launching next week, I am giving my website kind of a total makeover. I've done a lot of thinking about transitioning out of the very rustic farmhouse look, which does break my heart because that was so me the last like 6 or 7 or even 8 years. So when we remodeled our house last year, it went from a very seriously rustic home to a more minimalist boho. It's still white, it still has farmhouse flares. I have a ton of woods and whites in there, as well as brick and some rust colors. It's that very minimalist boho feel. And that is what I'm wanting from my studio, from my products, and from my website. So it's not gonna be an all of a sudden change. I'm gonna spend the next few weeks retiring old fragrances, kind of changing the navigation so everything is a little easier to find. I am going to be retiring some of my OG jars. I've been on the fence about retiring my 16-ounce mason jars, and I have done a vote on Instagram to see if everybody would be okay if I replaced the mason jars with a 16-ounce straight-sided double wick jar. I just think that particular jar is really, really beautiful with a vibe that I'm going towards now. And they are just exquisite burning in your home. I've used mason jars since the conception of my business. I love the look of them, and I love the fact that they could withstand super, super high temperatures so that they were safe. I just feel like now when I walk through my home, they look a little bit dated and just don't go with the vibe that I have in there now. And I think that's probably the general consensus with pretty much everybody at this time. So I think what I'm gonna do is my core collections, so like my spring collection, summer collection, fall collection, and winter collection, you're gonna have the option of the normal 9-ounce that we've had. Then you're going to have the option of the 16-ounce straight-sided jar, which is basically just double the size of the 9-ounce. They're the same look, and it'll be double wicked. It'll be super beautiful. And then I'm gonna have a separate listing for the mason jar. I'm not gonna get rid of them completely, because I know there is so many of you that have purchased from me for years that is your go-to jar. And I don't want to take that away from you guys. So I think I am going to keep a separate listing just for the mason jar candles. And they will probably be available as I always had in every scent. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm getting rid of my 5-ounce mason jars. Those were incredibly popular for like 4 or 5 years. So for my sample size, I'm reworking the 4-ounce gold tin label. It's gonna be a beautiful label on the side that's, again, minimalist boho, very earthy tones, and then it's gonna have a really beautiful label on top. It's probably like some floral motifs or something like that. I'm gonna let you guys know that you're gonna see some changes around here, but they're gonna be changes for the good. You're gonna see some different color palette. I'm always gonna have pinks and florals as my core colors, but I am going to try to get away from the stark farmhouse colors and transition into more of the earthy boho style colors. So that's what's going on this week. Obviously, that would make for an extremely long video for me to show you all of this stuff. Just break that up into 1 or 2 more studio vlogs. I can't wait to take you guys on this journey with me, and cue the chorus because we're finally swinging into fall, you guys. I'm so excited. So anyways, with that said, I'm sorry this was a very long chatty video. I just love you guys, and I just love to sit down here and chat, and you guys drop me comments and we get to have really meaningful and awesome conversations. That just makes my whole week. So I will see you guys next week, and thank you again so much for watching. Bye.